Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to another live episode of the Sports Report Live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. I am your host, the radio guy, Mike Prince. Tonight we're going to be talking about the world of the NFL, some NCAA. Of course, we'll cover some local high school things, and we'll hear from none other than Johnny Football Cole himself as he'll break down our game of the week. This week featured Jackson State and Arkansas Pine Bluff. And my, oh my, what a difference a few weeks make in the case of the Jackson State Tigers. We're going to even mention a little bit of the World Series that was some part of this show. At least I'll try to, if time permits itself. I want to thank our sponsors for tonight. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street in Hempstead, Texas. That phone number is 979-826-8008. The Prairie View Athletic Club, serving student athletes since 1986. Also, I'd like to thank Diva Skin Conditioner. They're located at divafeet.com. That's D-I-V-A-H. Feet.com. If you're having challenges with eczema or the attacks of diabetes on your skin, you need to give Diva Skin Conditioner a try. It's a money-back guarantee, so you absolutely have nothing to lose. That website again is divafeet.com. D-I-V-A-H feet.com, or you can call and speak with a representative at 903-203. Look at that, I got stuck there. 0036. Sorry about that, Diva. And don't forget Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. They're located at 3019 Waller Street in Waller, Texas. That phone number is 936-931-3696. And without any further delay, we're going to jump right into today's episode. Well, we're winding down, and when we look at things, they're pretty much shaping up into their own ranking as far as the college rankings are concerned. We'll discuss that, of course, a little bit later on. High school is also kind of shaping up, and we'll get a chance to do that. I want to give a congratulations to the Rose Hill Christian Eagles. They improved their record to 8-1. As they had a big confrontation against the Brazos Christian Eagles. Brazos came in with a 4-game winning streak, and the Rose Hill Christian Eagles came in with a 7-game winning streak, and they extend their record now to 8-1. So that 24-12 victory will give the Rose Hill Christian Eagles the number one spot in the TAPS Division 4. So they are riding high right now. Of course, you can listen to the Rose Hill Christian Eagles right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, as well as other high school sports for the Hempstead Bobcats, the Royal Falcons, and the Waller Bulldogs. We'll now get you caught up to speed on the weekend that was in the world of high school football in regards to the Waller County, Texas area, and some Tomball and Magnolia, things of that nature. We try to spread the love if we could. Anderson Shiro could not get past Corrigan. They lost by the score of 23-6. A nail biter found Louise victorious. Oh, and I'm not even in the right week. Forgive me. I'm not in the right week. Forgive me. Let me get that taken care of. The weekend that was for November the 1st. There we go. Now we're set. Hempstead fell short to Palacios by the score of 48-14. Belleville 52, LaGrange 27. Royal fell a little short against Caldwell by the score of 26-18. Waller and Willis had a battle. Waller coming up short, losing by the score of 36-30. Magnolia and Magnolia West in the battle for bragging rights found Magnolia Bulldogs victorious over the Mustangs 39-15. Tomball, taking on College Station, found Tomball victorious over College Station 42-35. Anderson Shiro this week over Kuntz 52-6. There was no struggle there. And we had Burton and Somerville getting together. Burton was victorious by the score of 34-14. Glenn falling short to Brenham 48-7. Iola had no answers for Bremond. They lost 47-6. And Tomball Memorial victorious over Cypress Springs by the score of 55-0. So now the high school playoffs and everything have kind of shaped up when it comes to the Waller Bulldogs. Of course, they're still struggling, a young team trying to find their way and get their first win of the season. They have an extremely tall order next week when it comes to taking on Lufkin. And the Leopards are riding high and taking no prisoners, if you allow me to say it that way. And it's going to be extremely interesting to see how that thing will shape out the next week, or should I say this week's events will have the likes of Brenham will be taking on Weiss, Burlington, or Bartlett, I should say, will be taking on Iola. Cypress Ranch will be taking on Tomball Memorial. And you have Tomball will be at Willis. Caney Creek will be at Magnolia. And you also have Magnolia West will be at College Station. Waller, as we mentioned, will be taking on the Lufkin Panthers. I said Leopards, but they'll be taking on the Panthers. And Royal will be taking on Belleville. So it's going to be another heated contest. And let me make sure that we get the Hempstead Bobcats will be taking on Rice at Hempstead. So a lot of implications and things going on as we get ready for the high school roundup playoffs. We'll kind of break that down a little bit later on with the regards of how and where the playoff teams could end up. Right now, the Bulldogs still looking for their first win of the season, and we'll see how things fare out for them. As we mentioned, it's going to be a tall order against Lufkin, but stranger things have happened, and you could always, as they say, give it that old fighter spirit. Right now, Lufkin sitting with a 6-0 district record. They're 8-1 overall. College Station is at 4-2 with a 6-3 record overall. Magnolia comes in at 4-2. They're 6-3 as well. Magnolia West will be at 4-2, coming in with a 5-4 record. So that game between Magnolia and Magnolia West is going to be very, very important. Tomball comes in with a 3-3 record. They're 4-5 overall. Willis at 2-4 with a 3-6 overall record. Caney Creek is at 1-5. They're 2-7 overall. And Waller is at 0-6 with an 0-8 overall record. So the Bulldogs are a young team. They're still trying to figure and work some things out and get that all settled in. Meanwhile, for the Royal Falcons, they're in a unique district. They have where they only need a couple of wins to get some things done, even though they're at the bottom right now as far as the 4A Division II, Region 3, District 12 standings go. LaGrange on top with a 3-1 record, 7-2 overall. Belleville's at 3-1. They're 6-3 overall. Giddings is at 3-1. They're 4-5 overall. So you got a logjam at the top three. Smithville 2-2, 5-4 overall. Caldwell is at 1-3 with a 3-6 record overall. And Royals 0-4 in district play, but 3-6 overall. And since we were going over the standings and everything, we might as well get you up to speed with the Hempstead Bobcats. Bobcats losing to Palacios over the weekend, and it kind of puts them in a somewhat uncomfortable position. But if anybody can work them out, I'm pretty sure that Coach Hill can get these guys, as they say, worked out and through. As we mentioned, they will be hosting Rice, who happens to be within the division as well, for the Bobcats. So the standings for the Bobcats, as it would be on this November 4th weekend. Man, it's already moving like there's no tomorrow. Anyway, for District 3A, Division 1, Region 4, District 13, Columbus is on top with a 4-0 record, 7-2 overall. Palacios at 3-1. They also are at 7-2. 2-2 will have Rice and 4-4 overall. Hitchcock is at 2-2 with a 4-5 record. Hempstead's at 1-3 with a 5-4 record. And Bowling is at 0-4 with a 1-7 record. So that is what and how things are shaped up here in the world of high school sports. Once again, congratulations to the Rose Hill Christian Eagles for taking care of business as they were victorious. They hold the number 1 spot right now in the TAPS division. What we're going to do is we're going to take us a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll hear from Johnny Football Cole as we will break down the game of the week that featured Jackson State and Pine Bluff. We'll cover some MEAC scores and information and a whole lot more. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. You are listening to the Sports Report Live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the voice of student athletics.
Serving the community through faith and athletics. The Open Mic Broadcast Network.
I present to you 3 of the fiercest subjects ever assembled in the cage of doom. First, the brain-wrenching behemoth, Algebra 2, weighing in at a mind-boggling 800 pounds. Foreign languages! The multilingual international sensation capable of tossing you clear across the Atlantic. And finally, biology. More ferocious than formaldehyde, she'll dissect you 1 chromosome at a time. Who among you will step up to their challenge?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Me too.
I'm in.
Sign me up.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college. Find out which classes you need at knowhowtogo.org.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
Are you one of the many Americans that deal with the effects of diabetes? Diva Skin Conditioner could be the remedy that you need. Diva Skin Conditioner is a formulation that was designed with you in mind. Diva Skin Conditioner comes with a money-back guarantee. That's how confident they are in their product. For more information, visit divafeet.com. That's D-I-V-A-H, feet.com. Or you can speak with a representative by dialing 903-270-0026.
After my first car accident, I feared the biggest damage would be to my wallet. I expected a mountain of bills and a long, drawn-out process. But my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent was there when I needed her and helped me get back on my feet and in my car in no time. Instead of a hassle, I got reassurance and a quick recovery.
Call Agent Jeremy West at 936-931-3696 to see if you qualify to save up to 40% off your auto insurance.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas.
And welcome back to the Sports Report Live. We come to you on Sunday nights, and part of the feature is our next guest, and that is Johnny Football Cole. He's going to go over our game of the week, which featured Jackson State and Arkansas Pine Bluff. As we now turn over to the maestro himself, Johnny Football Cole. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Hey, I'm good. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm a Steelers fan. We found a way to get one tonight. And while I'm speaking of football, let me give people an update before we go a little further on into our segment right now. It is beginning of the third quarter, and the Ravens are on top of the Patriots by the score of 24-13. And with that being said, Johnny Football Cole, let me go over these scores real quickly from the SWAC, and I'll hit the MEAC a little bit later, and then we'll get right into our segment. Is that okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm so thankful that you gave me permission to do that, man. I'm just messing with you. Alabama State kind of awakened the hounds, if you would, victorious over Mississippi Valley by the score of 27-0. Texas Southern had no answers in the hole, facing the Grambling State Tigers, losing 55-20. Alabama A&M and Southern University in a dogfight. Southern coming out on top, 35-31. And our game of the week, Jackson State. Oh, look now, they're 3-1 in conference play with their win over Arkansas Pine Bluff, 21-12. With that being said, Brother Cole, let's talk about these football scores and highlight, lowlights, if you would, that took place this weekend. Give me your feedback on our game of the week.
Well, every time I'm ready to pick Pine Bluff and think they're ready to get over the hump, they're just not there yet, and, still they're going through their second year. But looking at the stats, they really tried to run the ball, but Jackson State was winning two parts of this game. Defensively, they were good with 3 interceptions and also running the football. They rushed for 181 yards. And when you controlling the game and playing good defense, you usually come out victorious.
Right. And what about Jackson State? Literally 3 weeks ago, they're on life support. They get a gift, 2 gifts, I'm going to say. They get a gift from Mississippi Valley. They came back from a 21-point deficit. They win that in overtime. Then the following week, they win in double overtime against Prairie View, 38-35. And now they come up, and now they're in prime position of legitimate talks of trying to be competitive against Alcorn coming out the East.
Well, I mean, it's good for our conference that we just don't let Alcorn, now in their 7th year winning the East, that we get some more competition on that side. But I just thought that Pine Bluff would do much better against Jackson State. Jackson State is kind of one-dimensional, real predictable. When they put Jones quarterback in, they know they're going to run the ball. And then when they put the other kid in, they usually pass the ball. So, but hey, they put it all together, and at the end of the day, it's about winning the football game.
Absolutely. As old Malcolm used to say, by any means necessary, I need to get that win. Now, a disappointing loss, at least to me, or should I say performance. I thought Valley would have done a little bit better, especially being at home, taking on Alabama State. They lost by a score of 27-0. And once again, we're talking about a program that's trying to figure itself out, get an identity. But they're a vastly improved team. They're creating turnovers out the norm, but they can't quite get over that hump. And I ask you this because you've been the coach. I consider you the expert here in this segment. How difficult is it to overcome the lack of funding when it comes to the likes of a Mississippi Valley?
Well, the thing about Valley situation is they not only, in funding as far as paying the coaches and things, but also as far as scholarships. I mean, they're definitely way up underneath scholarships when it's compared to the other teams. So it's very important that the coaching staff, becomes a business guy and know how to kind of pass around the money that he gets for scholarships. But Valley is always going to be behind until, they make a commitment over there to be able to get a coach, the full 63 allotment scholarships.
Okay. Now, here's something that I'm always trying to figure out. How can I maximize my minimums? And when I say that, Coach, it's no doubt that we become copycats. We see one person has a scheme and it seems effective, and everybody goes and start trying to duplicate that when you don't necessarily have the manpower nor the talent level to run particular offenses. And what happens to our own identity and making our own mark instead of copying each other?
Well, you got to believe in what you believe in. I don't believe in being one-dimensional. When I see all this spread, the spread reminds me of the option. And you sit out there with four wide out most of the game, and I know you could probably do some other things. I just don't believe in that. I believe in having everything in your toolbox. You might meet a team that like to blitz a lot. You got to have some option in your package. You might like a team that plays zone. You got to be able to run the draw. You might have a team that's putting a lot of pressure on you up front. They got 4 down linemen. You got to be able to sprint out and get away from the rush. So, for me, I just stay with what I know, and a lot of times, everybody could get and start doing what's hot, and evidently, right now the spread offense is hot, but, I still think you ought to go up underneath the center when you get inside the 5-yard line.
Well,
it's just,
that is difficult to watch on any level, high school, collegiate, and even in the NFL. The spread has kind of taken over, if you would, and I think guys are foreign now. Now, there was a segment on one of the sports shows, I can't remember which one it was, talking about the depth of the fullback, where you could count on one hand now just about the teams that actually use a fullback in today's game. And the game has changed drastically as far as I'm concerned. You can't touch a guy without getting past interference call. And then on the NFL level, you don't know what is what, what's a personal foul, what's not a personal foul. And it's become crazy, man.
Yeah, the game's changed a lot. I think for the better, for safety for the players, but still when you take over a program, you got to know what you're getting yourself into. We talked about Valley earlier. So, Valley's got that coach over there has to be a business guy, and he can't he can't have 38 kids on full scholarship and no money left over, to pad his team up. He's got to be able to spread that money out, make sure that he gets enough players to be able to be conductive to be able to compete at the level that he's playing at.
Okay, we're talking right now with Johnny Football Cole in our swag football segment here on the Sports Report Live, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Now, Coach, let me go back just for a little bit. The one thing about college, regardless of what level it is, Division 1, 2, or 3, you have the ability to recruit. And let's be honest, it's a little bit more challenging to recruit guys in this era. Some of them think they're better than some of the offers they'll be receiving. How do you overcome that? And let's go back to the Valley case. I have 36, 38 scholarships, and if I, cut those in half, I could double that, But how do you overcome that when you're trying to compete and stay relevant in your conference? And I said, change your philosophy and your style. I keep thinking the wing T misdirection, because although you still need a certain level of player, but you don't need as high caliber of player. And I look at the consistency of a Navy and how Army have been consistent. They don't win all times, but they're always competitive with the talent that they have available based on the resources they use for their program.
Well, actually, Mike, it's easier to recruit now where, when I first got in the business, you had to ride out and find people. Now you can sit at your desk and click 2 or 3 clicks, and you can look at kids all over the country. But the first and foremost is so many moving parts in recruiting. You got to recruit for what you do offensively, defensively. You got to recruit where you don't have the players at. You got to recruit if you need a quarterback and what type of quarterback. You got to recruit the type of running back. Nowadays they don't get the big fat linebackers just sit in the middle and play tackle to tackle. Now you got to get guys that can run from left to right, because the game is so wide open. So those are things that you got to sit down with your staff. And first of all, what's our philosophy? Where our needs at? And where we need to go to get our kids, and how much money do we have to get where we need to get, and sometimes not necessarily that you even have to get there. With all the FaceTime and Facebook, you can be in somebody's house on the phone. So the recruiting part is easy, actually getting out and touching the kids. The part's hard is to make sure that you recruit what you need. Don't go out and sign 9 quarterbacks when you don't have enough offensive linemen. Don't go sign all offensive linemen when you ain't got enough defensive backs. So, you have to keep up with what you have. You really got to sit down with your staff. And, coaching football is an egotistical business. The defense coordinator want all the best players. The offense coordinator want all the best players. Then the head coach usually gonna make his own decision. Or at least he should. But, my philosophy, me being an offensive coordinator, I like to go recruit defensive guys. I figure I can get in the end zone. So if I got a stout defense, I know one thing, they ain't going to score. I know one thing, they're going to give me more opportunities to score on the offensive side of the ball. So, those are things that you got to look at. Here's another one that people don't realize. I remember the president of Lane College used to say, we're a small animal, Coach Cole. We come out at night and get our crumbs. Well, that's the same thing with smaller schools. You can't go out and try to sign 20 guys or 30 guys on signing day. You got to sit back and wait and sign them after signing day, sign them after spring ball, because that's when I've got my best players. Kids having problems at other universities, especially at the 180s. And then now they're looking for a university to come to.
Okay.
So,
okay.
It's strategy, isn't it?
Now, with that being said, and you just hit a hot button, at least for me, picking up other people's problems. Sometimes, in my own humble opinion, the risk is not worth the reward.
Okay. And, well, I can agree with that. And then once again, where we gonna cut it off at? If a kid is coming and he's broken the law, yeah, I'm like you. I'm not gonna mess with a kid that don't broke the law. But if some kid is just not having a good time, at the university he's at, as far as playing time, don't like where it's at, want to come back home, those are all the things that you gotta look. And then we gotta see what law did he break. You're looking at Cam Newton. Cam Newton ended up dealing some with a computer. I mean, is a young kid's life over, for taking a computer? I don't think it should be. Everybody deserves a second chance.
Well, I'm not knocking the second chance opportunities, but sometimes it just might be the personality, the integrity of an individual does not line up with what I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to build my program. And the kid could have all the talent in his pinky finger compared to 2 or 3 guys that I have that might not be as talented, but they're going to work hard, they're going to be disciplined, they're going to have self-control. And that's why I'm saying sometimes that risk is not worth the reward.
Right.
And I know, right. And I'm not, look, I am a project and a product of the projects, okay? And I know about second chances, so I'm never going to knock a kid about a second chance, but I'm talking about making sure it's the right fit. There's no domino saying all money is not good money.
Well, I'm going to use this term, and I don't mean it literally. You can't let the prisoners run the prison.
Right.
Now, when you come in my program, you're going to be, you got to have some guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this day and time, I think a lot of these young coaches now are befriending the kids, and I don't think you should do that. You know, I think you always should keep a line of respect there that I'm the coach and you the player. You know, and you got to have some guidelines. You got to have some things that these kids do to understand that I'm the head coach. This is the rules. You're going to have to become us. We're not going to have to become you. And remember now, this is your last chance. So I've had a lot of great experience with taking kids from Michigan, Pittsburgh, Texas, Arizona, Notre Dame. So I've had kids come from all the schools, LSU, but I make them understand that this is the rule, this is the law, and to be a part of us, you're going to have to do what we ask you to do.
Absolutely. We're talking right now with Johnny Football Cole. We're right in the middle of recapping the SWAC. We still got some more games to recover and look at the standings. Brother Cole, you got a little time to hang out with me. I got to take a break. Can you hang out with me through the break?
Oh, yes, sir. We'd love to.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do, we'll take us a quick break, and we'll be right back with more Johnny Football Cole right here on the Sports Report Live here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Keep it where you got it, and we'll be right back.
After my first car accident, I feared the biggest damage would be to my wallet. I expected a mountain of bills and a long, drawn-out process. But my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent was there when I needed her and helped me get back on my feet and in my car in no time. Instead of a hassle, I got reassurance and a quick recovery.
Call Agent Jeremy West at 936-931-3696 to see if you qualify to save up to 40% off your auto insurance.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Hi, this is Mike Prince with the Open Mic Broadcast Network, extending an opportunity for you to become a listening partner with us today. At 17 cents a day, you can make a huge impact on our local and regional high school and college student athletic coverage. We provide local talk shows, live game coverage, and much, much more. But we need your support to continue to move forward. Visit our website today at obnradio.com. Click on the PayPal button, which is safe and secure, and become a listening partner today. 17 cents a day comes out to $60 a year. Will you become part of the Open Mic Broadcast Network team? Visit that website at obnradio.com and become a listening partner today. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the voice of student athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
If you could do one thing to make an impact on the things that matter to your family, your community, and your country, wouldn't you do it? That's what voting is all about. An easy way to make a difference. Register, learn about the issues and candidates, and vote this November. Your vote helps shape the future of America. Visit www.vote411.org to get started. This is a public service announcement from Open Mic Broadcast Network.
And welcome back to the Sports Report Live. Mike Prince here with you. We got Johnny Football Cole on the line with us, and we were discussing the World of Southwestern Athletic Conference. Coach, let us touch the bases on your alma mater, your famous championship run with Texas Southern Tigers. They got the laundry brought to them this past weekend, losing 55-20. What is the one thing that's jumping out with you when you look at this particular situation, what's going on at Texas Southern?
Well, it's tough to say, in my position, but, I love the university and I want to see it do well. And, looking at the game, between them and Grambling was 21 penalties called for over 300 yards. That says something to me. That says there's some discipline issues going on. And, it's tough when you come in there your first year. You got to really kind of establish that. At least that's what I think, and if you don't, sometimes the team kind of get away from you.
Right.
And right now, with them sitting at 0-9, it really shouldn't be, because, this is our honeymoon year. Guys, hey, we believe in the system. Let's keep rolling. Let's cut back on the penalties and just get better from game to game. But it doesn't seem like we're doing that.
Well, Texas Southern had 9 penalties for 97 yards, and Grambling had 12 penalties for 189 yards. So there was a lot of stopping and going throughout the course of that game. And when you look at it, as you say, it's still somewhat the honeymoon stages for Coach McKinney, year number 1. We have to take in consideration, too, this is his first time at the driver's seat, if you allow me. I know he's had a lot of experience with big-time programs, but it's a totally different beast when you are the man in control and in charge of everything.
Well, ain't no question, and I've had my opportunity to coach up on the 1A level, and, the difference is all you do is coach football. You don't have to worry about financial aid. You ain't got to worry about housing. You ain't got to worry about your Pell Grant, or travel. All that stuff is taken care of you from the people around you. And when you come down on our level, you got to be able to, be prepared and do those things. And so that takes away from a lot of your coaching when you're out doing that, and that's why your assistants got to be strong.
Okay. Now, another game that really, really was exciting and easily could have been our game of the week was Southern University and Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Southern holds off the Bulldogs, winning by the score of 35-31. Coach Odoms, they can say what they want to say, but he has a way of rallying around his team and to pull out big games when they need to. I know they have problems against Alcorn, but I really like the job that he gets done down at Jag Nation.
Well, I tell you what, I keep telling you, two phases of a game that if you had a choice, it's 3, offense, defense, and kicking. But with offense, you want to be running that football. Good defense, offense, win championships. And if you look at Southern, they rush for 355 yards. And anytime somebody is rushing and running the ball that good, that's 2 things. You're playing good defense, and you're also playing good defense with running the ball because you're keeping their offense off the field.
Absolutely.
They had the ball 35 minutes to Alabama A&M's 24. And see, that's the downfall of the spread because I'm throwing it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And they ain't running the clock.
Mm-hmm.
But when you running that ball, you eating that clock up, you're keeping those folks off the field, and that's a great defense as well.
Absolutely. And when you talk about it, I know people put emphasis on the red zone, but when you get down to the 10-yard line and you don't have a big package, a legitimate big package, it's difficult to move that ball because, of course, the field is shorter, and then the lack of physicality that, and I'm not saying all spreads are not physical, but you lose a little something when you go all spread because you just don't have that kind of bite that you need in those trenches and in the crunch time inside that 10-yard line.
Well, the thing about it, too, is, see, now I'm putting more in the box. Now I'm on defense. I'm going to man up on your receivers because they can only go so far. Now I get to put 2 extra safeties in the box. So, and the box is the down linemen, defensive linemen, offensive linemen, and linebackers. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to put pressure on you, and I'm going to shoot the gaps and then make you bounce it out to my guys on the outside.
Yes,
so
sir.
It's tough when I'm not under the center and I only got one back in the backfield. I don't have a blocker in front of me. So I would like to see the stacks on the spread in the from the 5-yard line, and I guarantee you it's a low percentage.
Well, I wouldn't. You wouldn't have an argument out of me, and maybe we'll get a chance to research some of that between now and next week. Now, with the standings being what they were, the picture is getting a little bit clearer. Southern University, they're still on top in the Western Division. They're 4-1 in conference play. They're 5-4 overall. But don't look now. But Grambling State Tigers in the number 2 spot. They're 2-2, and they still have some important games left on their schedule, leading to the Bayou Classic, which of course is on November 30th. But now Grambling will have a tall order. They'll be at home taking on Alcorn this week, and I can already tell you that's going to probably be our game of the week, Coach. And then they're on the road at Mississippi Valley, and they finish up at Southern. But now, as they say, the Grateful Dead has arisen in the case of Grambling State.
Oh no, ain't no question. And I was looking at that where Southern is 3-1 and Grambling is 2-2. But I think what we need to find out, and I don't know if they're counting all 7 games, or are they just counting the games in your on your side?
No, they counting all 7 games. But see, as far as the head goes, it's so congested right now that if Southern wins out, of course they would be the Western Division champions. Okay, but if Southern wins out and Grambling wins out, if Grambling beats Southern, then if Southern wins out, they would be 6-1 in conference play.
Right.
But then if they lose, they'll be 5-2, and because Grambling would be 5-2 as well, Grambling would win the head-to-head competition. Okay.
Yeah. I was when I was at Alabama State in 2000. We tied the conference with Alabama A&M.
Mm-hmm.
And the tiebreaker is number 1 is head-to-head. Then number 2 is who beat who. Then number 3 is points.
Right.
And then number 4 is who went last. Then the opposite team gets to go. So yeah, I'm very familiar with the tiebreaker.
Okay.
And you're all right. Grambling is sitting pretty good, but right now when you look at it, Southern would have to lose another game. So they could get an opportunity to go.
Right. Well, like I said, that other game that Southern could possibly lose could be against Grambling at the Bayou Classic. Right. Okay. And you talking about putting emphasis there. That's already a big game, but you talking about all the marbles on the table for that one. Then you have Pine Bluff, who kind of fizzled out as far as a serious contender for the race right now, being at 2-3. They'll have to play against Prairie View coming up here pretty soon, but their remaining schedule is going to...
a whole lot of things would have to happen for Pine Bluff to get in there.
Right. And with them losing to Southern, then losing they beat Mississippi Valley, and they lost to Grambling. They'll have Jackson State. They'll be at Jackson State. No, they already played Jackson State. They lost to Jackson State. They'll be at Prairie View on November the 9th, which is this week. And hopefully Prairie View could hold them off. I'm hoping. Then they'll finish up at home against Texas Southern. So
Pine Bluff lost to Jackson State, Grambling, and Southern.
Right. So with all that being said, it has kind of muddied the water, if you would, in the Western Division. Now over in the East, it has gotten somewhat interesting. Alcorn still at top with a 4-0 record. Jackson State is at 3-1. I'm still scratching my head over that one. Jackson State, with their 3rd consecutive win this weekend over Pine Bluff, 21-12. Now they have remaining on their schedule the Alabama A&M Bulldogs on November the 9th, and then they will face off against Southern November 16th, and then they'll finish up on the 23rd at Alcorn. So mathematically, they could still end up on top, and that is crazy considering that they were calling for Coach Hendricks' head literally 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a lot of things going on with that program over there, and it's not on the field. It's kind of off the field with an eligible player. So, that's kind of out, and some things kind of took place with the young man, and, they're looking into it now. So that was the thing that's happening over at Jackson State. But they got three tough ones. They got three tough ones in a row. But, one thing about Jackson State, almost just don't get it at Jackson State. They're one of those traditional teams that got a big alumni following, and winning is the only thing they accept over there. Not just so, because if you look back, they got rid of Comegy, and Comegy went to the SWAC championship 4 times and only won it once.
And they hadn't been right. They hadn't been right since they got rid of them, neither.
No, sir, they hadn't been. I think, I know we've talked about this in your show before, and I've always talked about hiring black college people and people that's vested in black colleges. Jackson State messed up back in 2000, when they didn't keep their tradition of hiring somebody within the staff or within this conference. They went outside and hired a couple coaches, and if you look at those coaches' records, they kind of killed the school's tradition, and that's when everything started snowballing. And now they're struggling today.
Well, let me ask you this, because we're going to switch over to the MEAC here in just a moment. But let me ask you this: when you think of SWAC football, what are the top institutions or programs that come to your mind?
No question, is Grambling, number one, from the tradition of Eddie Robinson. Jackson State, because I'm looking at 40 years from today back 40 years.
Okay.
You look at Grambling, you look at Jackson State. You got to double with Alcorn and Southern, and then you got the rest.
Okay.
You got Prairie View, you got Texas Southern, you got Pine Bluff, you got and Alabama State. Alabama State is in there, and I think everybody lines up after that. You probably got Alabama State in front of Texas Southern and Prairie View, and then you got Pine Bluff in there. And, of course, Mississippi Valley, they had a run with Jerry Rice, and that crew was there. That was in 84, 85.
Okay. Now, for me, unfortunately, when I think and hear Alabama State, I think of them as an underachiever when it comes to football, because of the investment and the return on the investment that they've put in. It hasn't lined up as far as I'm concerned. When you look at it, the top 4 programs, when you think of SWAC football, I would agree would be Alcorn, Southern, not in this necessary order, but Alcorn, Southern, Grambling, Jackson State, just on tradition alone. And another similarity that I see from outside looking in, the common denominator is those 4 teams that you mentioned are very physical.
Yeah.
Very physical. And a lot of finesse and if you allow me to say, cute play is what I see from the other programs that were mentioned. And I'm thinking, once again, I think that's part of trying to duplicate what you don't necessarily have the manpower to duplicate, instead of creating your own identity.
Right. Well, one of the things that I argue is there is always a disconnect between the athletic department and the university. But when you talk I coached at Southern University. They don't have that issue. At Grambling, they don't have that issue. Jackson State, they don't have that issue per se. Doing it. And then again, I'm talking from 40 years up to today. You know what I mean? And I worked at those universities. Alabama State don't have that university. Plus, they're the only show in town, being in Birmingham. So, but when you start looking at those other schools, there was a disconnect. Prairie View at one time used to be a winner back in the 60s and early 70s, but then they fell off, and the school even took the scholarships from them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's always been kind of that way at Texas Southern. Of course, I went to school there and also worked there as well. You got to be able to invest in your university. And, of course, Mississippi Valley, I don't think they ever had enough scholarships. You know, I don't think they ever carried 63 scholarships.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, Alabama A&M, you know, and then you could tell about the stadiums. Texas Southern don't have no stadium. Prairie View just got one. You know what I'm saying? Valley, Pine Bluff just got one. Valley still, the stadium they in, you know, need remodeling and everything else.
But see, that's where I'm going to agree to disagree, because technically the number one HBCU black college football program, FAMU Rattlers, in the nation, their facilities are not jumping off the map. You know, and Alcorn facilities are not jumping off the map. Now, in Alcorn's case, and from my opinion, they put all their eggs in football. Everything else is a struggle. But I hear and I understand the need of facilities. I don't argue that or question that at all. But sometimes I think we'll put so much emphasis on that. I would rather have a solid program with suspect facilities than top of the art facilities with a very suspect program. That's just me.
Well, me and you you know, I was saying that because you know, we were talking about why are those schools the powerhouses and why, you know, you got the bottom tier. Mm-hmm. And I was just saying because of the disconnect between and like you say, if you supported our programs, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we get in trouble with the NCAA so much, because we don't put the money there where we in compliance. And you know, we don't have enough people there to run the program like it should be ran. You know, I always fought. I remember I took the job over Lane, and the president said, well, what you need, what you want, what's going on? I said, well, I want my office to look like your office. Because when those recruits come on campus and they come and they see your office, they should see my office. And not saying my office should be as big, but it should be a place that you call home on your campus. You know, because that's what sells.
Now I'm about to play devil's advocate. Wouldn't it just happen to do with your decor and how you got it looking when they come to your office, whether it's a closet or Taj Mahal?
Well, what if you don't have one?
Borrow somebody's. Do whatever it's going to take. And to me, and I understand that. I understand that you got to have certain things and certain looks, and you know those saying, "Fake it till you make it."
And let me say this to you, Mike. See, that's what these 1A coaches don't understand when you come down to this level.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? They think everything is in place. And just like you say, when I went to Lane College, we built lockers. I went to Home Depot, me and my staff, ordered wood, ordered paint, ordered carpet, and we built lockers.
Right.
To make sure that when we brought recruits in, that we had enough lockers, that we brought players in there, that they felt comfortable. And like you say, it don't have to be the best, but it's got to be something. It's got to be clean. It's got to look nice, you know, to make those kids feel comfortable.
And I do understand that. We're talking with Johnny Football Cole right now, and I have very enriching conversations with you each week, and I'm thankful to have you part of the program. I want to switch over to the MEAC real quick. Go and recap some scores here. Morgan State had no answer for Norfolk State, losing 48-20. North Carolina A&T rebounded over South Carolina State, winning by the score of 22-20. North Carolina Central 28, and Howard, man, oh man, they're struggling big time. They lost 28-6, and FAMU victorious over Delaware State, which was no surprise, by the score of 52-30. Now, this weekend coming up, you're going to have Bethune-Cookman at Delaware State, North Carolina A&T at Morgan State, Howard at South Carolina State, and Norfolk State will be at North Carolina Central. When you look at the MEAC, and I've been on record for saying the MEAC has, to me, a little bit more physical style of play. And when I look and see how per se these teams are lining up as far as the standing goes, with FAMU obviously being eliminated from postseason play, when I go through this ranking or these standings, I am shocked and even compared, even kind of eerie, say, could our number 4 beat their number 4, vice versa, this, that, and the other? FAMU is on top 6-0. They're 8-1. North Carolina A&T is 4-1 with 6-2 overall. Bethune-Cookman's at 4-1. They're 6-2. South Carolina State, they're 3-2, but they're 5-3. When you break it down, and even the top 4 teams, and we'll go back over that if you could. We said Alcorn, Grambling, Southern and Jackson State. When I go through this top 4 here, I want you. Are you there, Coach?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I just heard something pop in. Okay. I want to be able to see who you compare who to. FAMU. Who would you compare FAMU to over in the SWAC?
Probably.
Here are the top search results.
Southern University.
Southern University.
Yes.
Okay. North Carolina A&T.
Alcorn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not in order, is it? This ain't like who's the best and who's not the best.
No, I'm just saying comparing apples to apples.
Okay.
Okay. Then Bethune-Cookman.
That's a tough one.
South Carolina State.
Well, you have to say Grambling.
Okay. So then going back in the order that you picked, who do you have South Carolina State versus Grambling?
I would take South Carolina State.
Okay, so that's going to leave Bethune-Cookman against Jackson State as far as who was left on the table. Who would you take?
Right. You would have to take Bethune-Cookman when you look at the numbers.
Okay, North Carolina A&T and Southern.
Well, you can't bet against the one of the best teams in the country, been the national champion the last 3 years.
Right.
Coach Washington, who's there, who coached in the SWAC. So you would have to take A&T.
Okay, and FAMU and Alcorn.
That's a toss-up. Alcorn is playing real good football. They've been in the national championship game the last couple of years. Plus, Coach McNair is doing a great job down there. I tell you what, I'm going to take Alcorn.
You're going to take Alcorn? Okay.
You had mentioned Howard earlier in the conversation, and, that's a Division 1A coach down there that's well-known. Coach Prince has had a fabulous career, but he's struggling socially with the football players down there. They got 11 kids trying to transfer out of there.
Right, and, his main one is his quarterback, Newton. He put himself on the shelf, and he's already, been visiting other campuses. I won't say just yet, but it's a fire sale at Howard right now.
Yeah, well, I'm in the football world, so my understanding is that he did that to give himself an opportunity to to go play Division 1A ball. But they definitely having a rift on that football team with the head coach, how he's handling the players down there. And I think some of the players are getting upset about it. So, that's just one of the things that I've seen it for 30, 40 years, that when we bringing those guys down, they don't have respect for our brand of football. They don't have respect for the kids that we coach, because our kids are a little immature, need a little more work, a little more nurturing. And, it's not a football factory at black colleges, even though we believe in the football. But see, the difference is our players come to school not only just to play football, they come to school to graduate from college. Not saying that they all don't up there, but most of them players up there, they come to play in the NFL. And I'm not saying all of them, and the coaches are coaching to move and go somewhere else, higher and make more money. When as opposed to we're at a level that we got to nurture our kids. We got to care about them. We got to understand where they came from. And we don't have a lot to replace our good ones.
Right. So if I'm hearing you correctly, it's more of a different ulterior motive from one level to the next.
You got to be a lot more patient, a lot more nurturing. You know, you're not getting the kid that's coming with the right rate, mature, responsible, all his priorities in order. You're not getting that kid at our level.
Okay. Well,
you got to nurture him, you know, to get where you want him to be.
Once again, my friend, you're leaving me on a cliffhanger because we got to exit stage left. We got to run out of time. We want to thank our guest, Johnny Football Cole. Man, it's always a joy having you on blast and on board with us, man. We look forward to next week. Grambling Alcorn, our game of the week. You going to be ready, Coach?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I still will.
We want to thank those who joined us on tonight. Thank our sponsors, Attorney Lee Van Richardson of Hempstead, Texas, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance of Waller, Texas, Prairie View Athletic Club of Prairie View, Texas, and Diva Skin Conditioner located at divafeet.com. Don't forget to join us Monday through Friday right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network for the Mike Prince Show, featured at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Our 24-hour dial-in message line, 713-570-6736. I've got to go, but until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.